What if I told you that the reason most woodworkers in America never turn their craft into real profit isn't because they lack skill, but because they're pricing their work completely wrong? Think about it. You can spend 20 hours transforming rough, discarded pallet wood into a stunning Scandinavian-style coffee table and still end up making less than minimum wage. Not because the market won't pay, but because your pricing formula is broken from the start. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most makers are accidentally running a charity, not a business. They price their work based on what feels reasonable, what they think people will pay, or worse, what competitors are charging. And that's the fastest way to burn out, undercharge, and eventually quit something that could have been incredibly profitable. Because when you treat your craftsmanship like a hobby, the market treats it the same way. Let me tell you a quick story. A guy named Daniel, talented, detail-obsessed, passionate about sustainable furniture, started building minimalist wood pieces from reclaimed pallets. His designs looked like something straight out of a $2,000 Scandinavian catalog. Clean lines, perfect joints, premium finish. But he was selling them for $180, sometimes $220 if he felt confident. After costs, he was barely making $5 an hour, and he couldn't understand why he was always exhausted and broke at the same time. Then something changed. Instead of asking, "What will people pay?" he asked a better question. What is this actually worth? That shift alone changed everything. Within 6 months, Daniel was pricing the same pieces at $900 to $1,200, and people were buying. Not everyone, but the right customers. The ones who value craftsmanship, sustainability, and design. And suddenly, his business wasn't just surviving, it was scaling. So what changed? Not the product, not the tools, not even the audience. The only thing that changed was the formula. And that's exactly what we're breaking down today. The Maker Pricing Formula, a system designed to help you stop guessing your prices and start engineering them for profit. Because if you get this right, you don't just make money, you build a sustainable, scalable business that actually rewards your time and skill. Let's start with the biggest mistake most people make, the myth of the hobbyist discount. Somewhere along the way, makers started believing that because they enjoy what they do, they should charge less for it. That passion somehow replaces profit. But here's the reality: your enjoyment doesn't pay your bills. And more importantly, your customer isn't paying for your enjoyment. They're paying for the outcome. When someone buys a handcrafted wood piece, they're not comparing it to IKEA. They're comparing it to how it makes them feel. The uniqueness, the story, the quality, the identity it gives their space. And when you underprice your work, you're not being nice. You're signaling that it's not valuable. This is where most cost-plus pricing models fail. You've probably heard it before. Calculate your material cost, add a bit for labor, then throw on a small margin. Sounds logical, right? But here's the problem. It completely ignores your true value. It reduces your craftsmanship to raw inputs like you're manufacturing bolts in a factory. And that's why so many skilled makers feel stuck. Because no matter how good they get, their income barely moves. You are not selling wood. You are selling transformation. You're taking something discarded, overlooked, and undervalued, and turning it into something people are proud to display in their homes. That transformation has value, real value. And if your pricing doesn't reflect that, you're leaving money on the table every single time. Now, let's talk about something most people don't even think about: the true cost of raw material recovery. If you're working with reclaimed wood, especially pallet wood, you already know it's not free. Not even close. You spend hours sourcing it, transporting it, cleaning it, removing nails, planing it down, and preparing it for use. That's labor. That's time. That's cost. But here's where it gets interesting. Most beginners treat that extra effort as a disadvantage, when in reality it's your biggest pricing advantage. Because in today's market, sustainability isn't a drawback, it's a premium feature. Eco-conscious buyers are actively looking for products that align with their values, and they're willing to pay more for it. So instead of hiding that effort, You need to highlight it. That extra work becomes part of your story, part of your brand, part of your value proposition. You're not just selling furniture, you're selling sustainability, responsibility, and craftsmanship combined. But if you don't calculate that effort into your pricing, you're essentially working for free on one of the most valuable aspects of your product. And it doesn't stop there. Think about your consumables: sandpaper, finishing oils, brushes, hardware, electricity, tool wear and tear. These are silent profit killers. Individually, they seem small, but over time, they eat into your margins without you even noticing. And if you're not accounting for them properly, your profit is just an illusion. This is why serious makers treat their workshop like a production studio, not a garage hobby. Every input gets tracked. Every hour gets counted. Every cost gets acknowledged. Because precision in your process leads to precision in your pricing. And this is where we transition into the next critical piece of the formula, your labor rate. Because this is where most people undervalue themselves the most, and it's costing them thousands every year. Now let's talk about the part that makes most people uncomfortable, your labor rate. Because this is where the real shift happens from thinking like a hobbyist to operating like a professional. Most woodworkers price their labor based on what they think is fair. Maybe $10 an hour. Maybe $15 if they're feeling generous to themselves. But let's be honest, if you walked into a professional workshop, hired a skilled artisan with years of experience, precision tools and design knowledge, would you expect to pay $15 an hour? Of course not. And yet, that's exactly what many makers are paying themselves. Here's the reality. Your labor rate isn't just about time. It's about skill, efficiency, and expertise. The cleaner your joinery, the better your finishes, the more refined your design sense, the higher your rate should be. Because you're not just selling hours, you're selling mastery. A simple way to reframe this is to think like a business owner instead of a worker. A professional shop rate in the US can easily range from $40 to $100 per hour, depending on skill level and niche. And before you panic and think, no one will pay that, remember this: customers don't see your hourly rate. They see the final piece. They see the value. They see the story. The math happens behind the scenes. And here's something even more important: most of your work isn't visible. The design sketches, the trial and error, the time spent sourcing materials, the finishing touches that no one notices consciously, but everyone feels. These are what I call the invisible hours. And if you're not tracking them, you're underpricing your work by default. This is why serious makers use time tracking tools. Not to restrict creativity, but to understand reality. When you actually measure how long a piece takes from concept to completion, it completely changes how you price. Suddenly, that $200 table doesn't look like a deal anymore. It looks like a loss. Now here's where the formula starts to evolve into something powerful. Once you calculate your material costs, your recovery effort, your consumables, and your true labor rate, you don't just stop there. You add a profit margin, not a leftover, not whatever is left after costs. A deliberate protected margin, because profit isn't a bonus, it's what allows your business to grow. It's what lets you upgrade your tools, improve your workspace, and increase your efficiency over time. Without profit, you're stuck. With it, you scale. But even this is only half the equation, because the biggest leap in pricing doesn't come from costs. It comes from perception. This is where we step into what I call the eco-luxury factor. Think about it. Why can one wooden table sell for $150 and another for $1,500? Even if the materials are similar, it's not just the build, it's the positioning, the story, the brand, the way it's presented. When you position your work as furniture, you compete on price. When you position it as functional art, you compete on value. And this is where reclaimed wood becomes incredibly powerful. Every piece has a history, a past life. Maybe it came from an old shipping dock. Maybe from a dismantled barn. Maybe from a forgotten warehouse. That story adds emotional weight. And emotional value is what drives premium pricing. But here's the catch: you have to communicate it. clearly, intentionally, consistently, because customers don't automatically see what you see. You have to show them. Through your product descriptions, your photos, your branding, your messaging. You're not just selling a table, you're selling the journey it took to become that table. And when you combine that story with clean, minimalist Scandinavian design, something interesting happens. Simplicity becomes luxury. Precision becomes premium. The less cluttered your design, the more every detail stands out. And that allows you to charge more, not less. This is why high-end brands don't overload their products with features. They refine. They simplify. They elevate. And that's exactly what you should be doing with your work. Now, once you've built this entire pricing foundation, your costs, your labor, your margin, your positioning, you're ready for the final level. Scaling it beyond your local market. Because here's the truth. Your local buyers might not always afford or appreciate premium pricing. But the global market, that's a completely different game. When you sell online, whether it's through Etsy, Shopify, or your own platform, you're no longer limited to your city. You're reaching buyers who are actively searching for exactly what you create. People who value sustainability. People who love handcrafted design. People who are willing to pay for quality. But going global introduces new variables. Shipping costs, packaging, import duties, platform fees. And if you don't factor these into your pricing formula, your margins disappear fast. This is why you need to build a flexible pricing model. One that adapts based on where the product is going. One that protects your base profit no matter what. And here's a powerful strategy many successful makers use, separating their products into two categories: core items and limited editions. Your core items are your consistent sellers. Standardized designs. Predictable pricing. Optimized for efficiency. These create stability in your income. But your limited editions, that's where the real profit lives. Unique pieces. Scarcity-driven, high emotional value. These allow you to push your pricing further and test what the market is truly willing to pay. And finally, before any product goes live, there's one last step most people skip: the price audit. This is where you step back and ask, does this price reflect my brand? Does it support my business long term? Or am I still playing small? Because at the end of the day, your price isn't just a number, it's a statement. It tells your customer how to perceive your work. It tells your business how to grow. And it tells you whether you're truly valuing what you create. So if you've been underpricing your work, struggling to make real profit, or feeling like your effort isn't paying off, it's not your skill that's the problem. It's your formula. Fix the formula, and everything changes. And if you want more breakdowns like this, where we take real-world skills and turn them into profitable systems, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Because this channel isn't just about making money. It's about building smart, sustainable income that actually lasts. Now I want to hear from you. What's one thing you've been underpricing in your life or business?